You know what's a perfect gift for Christmas? Calta Cruise 15.
Hey, Annie, come take a look at the present I got for us.
Holy shit, you put a Calta Cruise under the Christmas tree? Awesome!
Book now and join the entire Mike Calta show and a whole bunch of your Bone Fam friends on Calta Cruise 15. We're cruising out of Tampa Bay for a 5-day, 4-night cruise on March 10th and heading to Costa Maya on Royal Caribbean's Brilliance of the Seas. We'll have 2 private parties, tons of activities, a bunch of cool prizes, and a live comedy performance from comedians Mike Cannon and Robert Kelly. Just call Accent on Travel to book now. 727-786-3336. Email caltacruise@gmail.com or go to theboneonline.com for more info.
We're gonna rage!
Calta Cruise 15, sponsored by Side Splitters Comedy Club. Now, back to Real Raw Radio, sponsored by Anajar and Levine, accident attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Happy Hot Topic!
The following takes place between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
And now, the Mike radio show.
On 102.5 The Bone.
Can't forget about the Midwest. That's where I was found.
What?
That's where I lived. In Columbus is the town. I got the pen, you got the paper. A seat.
What up, Bow Wow from 2002? Actually, this was Lil Bow Wow.
Is my favorite dish, but without y'all, I couldn't kick it like.
What up? Thank you to Mike Olivero, Mike Calta, and John Brennan for this opportunity. You can tell that this song's like 20 years old and he's talking about for buying my cassettes and my CD. If there was ever a definition of a song being outdated, it would be this song, Thank You by Lil Bow Wow. He really hit puberty. He went from like being a little kid to just being Bow Wow. So I'm going to replay this real quick. So I played this coming back from break at the top of the hour, but I want to give it its respect and I want to explain to you how much this clip means to me. This is Kobe Bryant's buzzer beater versus Miami Heat. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with playing a Kobe Bryant clip again. And I'm not a bandwagoner, not that it's a bad thing to be a bandwagoner for one of the GOATs, Kobe. But like, I worshipped him growing up. So I'm going to replay this moment because this was 12 years ago today.
Lakers do not have any timeouts. The Heat in the penalty, so they can't foul. Wade is guarding Bryant. Artest looking, gets it to Bryant. Bryant dribbling, has to put it up with the buzzer. Banks it in!
So right when this happened, this was 12 years ago. So it's pre like Hulu and Netflix. And I had Xbox Live and it came with like ESPN 3. And it was like for poor people that couldn't afford cable. Once a week they were like, we'll give you a basketball game. And I lived in Chicago, so obviously Los Angeles is 2 hours behind. So this was at like probably 1 a.m. and this game ended at like 11. And I remember Kobe Bryant made that shot and it was like 5 degrees out. We didn't have any heat in my house. I'm eating pizza and I'm frozen. And he gets that shot and I'm like, yeah! And I was like cheering. And I woke up my dad, who was not a very deep sleeper. And once he was up, it was hard for him to go back to bed. And he's like, what are you cheering about? And I'm like, Kobe Bryant hit a buzzer beater. And he just looked at me, not with disgust, but was like, that's why you're yelling? And I'm like, maybe we should have had a bigger house. That was mean. 775, you're on the air. What's your name and what's happening?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air talking to 1 million people in 2. What's going on?
Hey, did you know that SpongeBob was an adult cartoon?
I actually had that loaded up. SpongeBob's a fascinating show, bro, because it's like not meant for kids and you can feel the dirty jokes. That show and then Rocco's Modern Life, man, I'm like, how did that just fly over our radar?
Yeah, the guy that made it for that show, that Adult at Night or something like that, but they wanted it for kids, so then they changed the stuff in it for so that it, for kids to watch.
Could you imagine like a raunchy SpongeBob, like an Adult Swim? I feel like it would get into like weird territory because it was like raunchy and edgy enough, but also heartfelt. And I feel like it's good that it was rated TVY7 and now like MA. Because I feel like if SpongeBob was really edgy, like South Park, it'd be uncomfortable.
Yeah. No, I didn't. A lot of people didn't know that. And my kid, I didn't let my older kid watch it when she was growing up. But then my younger kid, he just loves it so much, and it's like it's hard for me not to say what it is, so I just kind of just keep it quiet. But I personally don't like the show.
What do you find offensive about it? It's one thing to not like it, but what is it about SpongeBob that rubs you the wrong way?
Just because I know what it was. I know it was supposed to be an adult cartoon, Squidworm is supposed to be, I don't know if I say all this on the...
I'd be careful. I think people get the point. I'd be careful. I'll just say this. I am not a father at all. I got really close, but I am not a father at all, so I am not giving out parental advice, but I will say my dad was so against SpongeBob, Simpsons, Family Guy, American Dad, everything, even Bugs Bunny, essentially, it felt like. And that made me want to watch it even more in rebellion. So what I think you need to do is the next time your kids want to watch any of the cartoons, as long as it's not like a rated R movie, go, can I watch it with you? And pretend to be the biggest fan of it. And I promise you, bro, they're not going to watch it. Because once I was into The Office since the first episode. And then all of a sudden, my dad joined the bandwagon, and I was like, okay, I'm done. So I promise you, the next time they're like, want to watch SpongeBob, be like, oh, hell yeah. And then you'll never see it again.
That sounds good.
All right. Thank you, sir. I don't think he really respected my opinion, but I wouldn't either. I don't have a kid. Let's get to the neighbors. Hi, 727. You're on the air.
Yo, Hoppe, what's up? It's Rich.
What's happening?
How are you, bro? I'm just calling to say, amazing show, my man. I'm proud of you.
That means so much, man. Because I love hearing from the listeners. Because it's great to hear that you did a good job from the bosses, obviously. It's great to hear from people, but like from the diehard listeners that are listening, man, that I can't explain how much that means to me, bro.
Yeah, man. I appreciate hearing you. Thanks for the good air content today. And I look forward to hearing you again, brother.
Thank you, bro. Let everybody know, but not too often, that I should have a show. Thank you, bro. Let's get to the neighbors, man. The food will be ready soon. 407, you're on the air.
Hey, Hoppe, man. How's it going?
What's happening, bro? What's your name and where are you from?
My name's Chris. I'm from Tampa.
What's happening?
Not much, man. I just wanted to say two things.
What's going on?
First of all, I don't think that you should have abandoned your athleticism when you were a younger dude.
Bro, I couldn't make it. I made the freshman team when I was 15, and then I couldn't make it when I was 16. The problem was I probably should have had a trainer since age 4, like Kobe or Tiger Woods or Peyton Manning, because then I'd be worth $200 million. It wasn't my uncoordination that prevented me.
I'm saying, man, you let one bad moment get in the way of you being a pro athlete. But with that being said,
yes,
that you joined the Bone. I think you're the hardest working dude at the Bone, and I just want to let you know I appreciate you, and you're doing a great job holding it down for Mike O, and hopefully one of these days you get your own show here over there at the Bone.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Another thing I want to talk to the neighbors about. I appreciate the compliments that I'm the hardest working person at the Bone, but I feel like everyone puts in their own work. So let's just say, Ryan Hoppe, you work really hard, keep grinding. Because it feels weird when I retweet the comments or whatever, and it's like, Ryan Hoppe works harder than anybody at the Bone. And this is probably me overthinking because I'm literally insane. I take Klonopin, Lamictal. I take all the meds. I'm insane. I've been on like 30 meds. I'm like a test rat. But let me tell you that my overthinking might be coming into place. But I feel like it rubs everybody the wrong way when I get tweets that are like, oh, you're the hardest working person. Because then I feel like all the primetime shows are like, no, jackass, I am. 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. Yeah, I was going to talk about Will Smith earlier. Yeah, he likes to vomit after sex. Who doesn't? Not me. I'm very bland, man. I respect people that have kinks. Honestly, whatever you want to do, and I know I said this before, that's fine. But my God, am I vanilla. And vanilla is my favorite ice cream, so it probably fits. But I literally just love the basic positions. I don't need the freakiness, but I honestly respect people that do. But what comes with having a lot of sex when you're not in a relationship, especially when you don't use a condom, is having a kid. And this next headline here, before I get to it, I've always wanted to say this, but there is nothing worse, and there might be things that are kind of worse, but in my opinion, there's nothing worse than a deadbeat father. And I love when the deadbeat dads go, I didn't want to have the kid with her. Well, why didn't you either wrap it up or do precautions that don't, you know what I'm saying? There's ways to do it without going through the action. But you wanted to feel the glory. You wanted to feel how amazing it felt, because it feels good. I've done it once or twice. I got close. But literally, don't blame your kid for you being a fool. It drives me nuts. And then when you know them, and then you see them like out and about, and you're like, bro, you don't care about your kid. Well, this next celebrity makes me sick. Right now.
Tristan Thompson is allegedly expecting his third child. According to court documents obtained by Daily Mail, the 30-year-old NBA star is being sued for child support by Mara Lee Nichols.
Honestly, too, I think he's averaging more kids per year than rebounds.
A 31-year-old personal trainer who says she is pregnant with his baby and due to give birth in December.
Man, do you ever notice, like, if you're in a relationship and he's on and off with Chloe, but I never want my girlfriend to get a personal trainer. Like, the personal trainer is a popular category on Pornhub. But also, it's like, whenever I hear about cheating, I hear, oh yeah, I was hanging out with my personal trainer. Like, yeah, don't do that.
ET has reached out to Tristan's lawyer for comment. Of course, the Sacramento King star is already dad to 3-year-old daughter True.
And then I feel bad for True, too. She's got her father cheating on her mom all the time. Google's not going anywhere. Ask Jeeves went away because that was a weird site. Jeeves creeped me out. But Google's not going anywhere. She's going to read this, and I just don't think he cares, man. And I think I want to have kids. I'm going to let time happen and money manifest and Hoppe in the morning where I can have money to have a kid someday. But my goodness, man, like, I don't get the people that, like, you just look at that little angel, that little life, and you go, I don't care about it. But then again, you're a sociopath. You're not somebody I want to hang out with. So I shouldn't really be surprised that you're a deadbeat.
He shares with his ex, Khloe Kardashian.
2, 2, okay, good. 1, 2, 3.
Like, you just see this little angel being held by Chloe with this huge birthday cake, and it's like you hear her father in the background, shut up. Not to Chloe or True, but to Thompson. He's just awful.
He also has a 4-year-old son, Prince, whom he shares with another ex, Jordan Craig. According to the court docs, Tristan's alleged third child was conceived in Houston during his 30th birthday celebration.
That's where all the babies are made. Oh, yeah.
In March. At the time of his birthday, Khloe shared these family pics of Tristan and True at his party.
And poor Chloe in these pictures, I know this is radio, this is audio, my voice is amazing, so you can't see what I'm looking at, but it's True looking all happy like a delightful little angel. It's Thompson smiling like, hey, where's my side chick? And then it's Chloe like, I'm trying to make this work for my mom because we're coming back to Hulu, and yeah.
Calling him her, quote, best friend in the caption. Quote, the ones that are meant to be are the ones who go through everything that is designed to tear them apart, and they came out even stronger than they were before.
Yeah, but he doesn't grab any rebounds, so what is he getting better at? Being a deadbeat father and not buying a box of condoms? Like, I interviewed DJ Who Kid 6 years ago when I went up to Sirius XM radio and like met Opie and sat in on It's Eric Nagel, but I'm not name dropping. And me and DJ Who Kid hit it off, and I interviewed him on my podcast. I think it's on YouTube. Search Hoppe DJ Who Kid. And he told me that when he was on tour, they bought boxes of condoms. Like boxes. Like they would hit up the warehouse or whatever and they would buy it. Like that's called being responsible. And I think DJ Who Kid's a good person if he was going on a 23-year-old's podcast. So a good person wouldn't have kids out of wedlock because he likes the motion. You know what I mean?
The Good American founder added, quote, "Thank you for showing me everything you said you would, for the father you are, for the best friend I have in you. I'm thankful that I can do absolutely nothing with you, and it feels like everything. I hope you know today and every day how loved you are by me and so many."
And I don't get cheating either. She's like, I love doing everything with you, but it's nothing. But when I'm sitting home alone watching Gossip Girl, you're banging some side chick. Like, I get that some people don't feel love the same way where you're okay with that, but I'm like, I look at like my beautiful girlfriend, everyone's like, hey, she's out of your league. I don't care. I'm the one who gets to lay next to her every night. I love her more than anything. But like, I can't imagine anybody else, like, you know what I'm saying, trying to keep it classy.
And on Thursday, the 37-year-old Keeping Up with the Kardashian star may have hinted at the drama, posting this cryptic quote to her Insta story.
That's what Khloe does. Your boyfriend knocks up a side chick, and then you put up the quote, "I don't have time for negative energy. And even when I do, I don't." Well, then dump them. But you're not going to, because you're a little washed up. Nothing's going on with the Kardashians. Nobody's talking about them, so you rely on Thompson. It's a sad world. 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. I got about 5 minutes left. What I'm fascinated about is Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian. Now, I don't want to be grotesque because my family's listening, but during my sprees of being single, like, for some reason, I would attract women in their 40s, and there's something really spiritual about hooking up with women in their 40s because they have life experience and they give you leftovers before you leave. They're like, hey, you want some of this pot roast? So that's what I imagine Pete Davidson gets from Kim Kardashian, and I think that Kim Kardashian's like, I have been a rich girl my whole life. My dad got OJ off. So then my mom got OJ off. So then literally I've just been rich my whole life. I wonder what it's like being a peasant. Because you hear about Pete Davidson going to the top of these buildings to have pizza with her. And you know he's giddy because he probably watched the Pornhub growing up. He probably listened to Kanye. So it's weird that he's Eskimo Brothers with Kanye. And the weirdest part for Kim, she's like, why am I here? It's just got to be a fascinating thing. 727-579-1025. 1-800-771-1025. I don't really have time for any of these news clips because all the neighbors called, and this has been a lot of fun. But Alec Baldwin did an interview where he claimed he didn't shoot the gun. And it's like, well, then how'd the bullet come out? And then the funny part is everybody runs with what Alec Baldwin says. Everybody's like, oh, he didn't do it. It's like I were to rob a bank. And I were to say, I'm not going to rob a bank. Please, I'm not saying I'm going to rob a bank. But I rob a bank in a different world. And I go, but I didn't take the money. The money's in my car, but I didn't take it. But he is a sociopath. Alec Baldwin is not that talented. He plays the same person in every single movie. And we got 3 minutes left. 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. Now, Mike O asked me to keep the same segments that he did on his show. So we have Just a Tip, where I give my tip of the day, and then the other people on the show do as well, but it's just been me hanging out. So my tip of the day would be to search Hoppe Radio on every single major platform by searching Hoppe Radio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, all of them. But don't, ignore the bone. Listen when you're done. You know what I mean? I'm a good nighttime show. Not at all, because I rant a lot. But my tip of the day as well is if you have a parent right now that is alive, I don't care if they are driving you nuts. I don't care if they are rude. You only get 2 parents in life. So call them, reach out, see what's going on. And I think you'll be surprised that even if you don't get along with them, you definitely get something from that connection of them being your parent. Because I would do anything to talk to my dad. I'm not trying to be depressing. But also, I don't know if you would like the content I do. 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. Tomorrow, You got Purity Products in the morning. And then you have the Al Keck Show at 10 a.m., Bone Fantasy Live from 11 to 1, and then the NFL in the afternoon. Then Monday, it begins all over again with Mike Calta from 6 to 11 a.m., Roger and JP from 11 to 2, Drew Garabo Live with John Senning from 2 to 6. Got a cat named Mo, Gareth, Spike, and JR from 6 to 8 with the cat named Mo Show. And then you got Johnny B with Will Coons, who you can check out with the Homemade Podcast. The Bone is the best. I appreciate everybody that listened. It meant a lot. Shout out to Mike Olivero for this chance. Shout out to John Brennan for everything. And shout out to Mike Calta and everybody here. This has been Hoppe Hour, filling in for the Mike O Radio Show. I am out of here. I hope you have an amazing weekend.
Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour.
Happy hour is now over. And like that,